Beterbiev versus Bivol. I'm here to let y'all know this fight is not going the distance. Somebody, is got to go, and somebody is getting knocked the hell out.
Welcome everyone to Top Stories, and Tim Bradley channeling his inner Smokey from Friday there because he says somebody is getting knocked the bleep out. Welcome to Top Stories. We got Paulie Malignaggi in the building here with Chris Algieri and ESPN analyst Tim Bradley as well. All right, Paulie, let's talk about it. It's a big fight. Unified light heavyweight championship of the world. Artur Beterbiev, undefeated, perfect 20-0, 20 by knockout against Dmitry Bivol, undefeated 22-0, 11 by knockout. What are you expecting from this fight?
I tell you, man, I'll channel that in a Smokey. It's funny. I was watching Dead Presidents over the weekend, another great Chris Tucker movie. Yeah. But, it's funny. I don't see it going a distance either. I don't think most people will see it go the distance. I think Beterbiev is a complete destroyer, but at the same time is also showing some susceptibility in terms of being able to be hit. He's gone down himself. I think he's, as he gets a little bit older, he's a little bit more susceptible to, not only the damage he takes, but also feeling it a little bit more. But at the same time, he's so strong. He's so strong. And so I think this fight will be exciting for however long it lasts. But I don't see it going the distance either. I agree with Tim Bradley.
All right. Chris, what do you make of this matchup between Beterbiev and Bivol?
I actually think this fight could go the distance. If Bivol's to win this fight, I could see it going 12. If Beterbiev wins this fight, I could see it being stopped. Bivol listen, he can punch well enough, but he's not a puncher per se, and he gets plenty of respect. He had a guy, Canelo, much smaller guy, couldn't really hurt him and get him out of there either. Beterbiev is a true 175 pounder. He's super strong. Absolutely, he's aggressive at times. He does get hit with shots. He has been hurt before, but he always gets up, and he gets up and he brings the heat afterwards. So I don't know if Bivol has that kind of power or the style to really put the pressure on to finish off a guy like Beterbiev. So if he is to win, which he very well could, I think it would be more of that boxing style where he's going to make you miss, make you pay. But I see him racking up points and getting a decision. Whereas Beterbiev, like you said, champ, is an absolute destroyer. Also very technical and fundamentally sound. But yeah, I can see this fight going a lot of ways. I'm not really sure who's going to win this fight yet. I really want to sit down and study as we get closer, do some tape review on these guys and how they match up. But man, I'm excited. I can say that much. I think this is one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight that can be made right now. It's one that's not only a great matchup, but it's important. It means a lot. This is the true 175-pound king, whoever wins this fight. Because right now they are the definitive 1 and 2, and it's really hairs that are splitting them in terms of who's number 1 and who's number 2. I flip-flop all the time in terms of who should really be number 1. So they just have to fight. And finally we have a date, and we're getting that much closer to it. So God willing, the boxing gods allows this thing to happen without a hitch. And I believe we're gonna see a fantastic fight.
And it's
Chris,
also
Chris, you don't go ahead, Paulie.
Oh, go ahead,
Paulie.
My bad.
No, I'm just saying you don't think that Bivol can knock out Beterbiev?
I think he can. I just don't think he will.
I think he can.
Look, listen to me, man. Listen to me. He's fighting one of the best fighters on the planet. Bivol is. You don't think his game gonna step up even further? And he's gonna be pushed to have to stop this guy because trust me, if he don't bag him up or cause him to think twice about coming in, he's gonna get ran over by this.
And not just that, I also feel like the guys that do go the distance with Bivol typically become survivors. They just go into survival mode. Like Canelo stopped trying to win that fight. He decided, I'm just gonna go the distance. I'm not gonna get knocked out. Comes a point in a fight where if you keep trying to win it, you're going to get yourself knocked out or you're going to end up winning it, and some guys don't want to make that choice. You see a lot of even top fighters, they'll go into that survival mode. They'll go into that shell mode. Canelo's one of them. He did it against Mayweather. He did it against Bivol. Even Adrian Broner, who goes the distance a lot, even in his losses. Old days, the second half of his career, Macho Camacho was like that a lot, where you could tell he kind of knew he was out of the fight. He knew how to go the distance, though. And then there are guys that will just try to just take it, push it to the limit and get themselves stopped or try to win the fight. I see Beterbiev being one of those guys where he wouldn't just accept, let me shell up and try to go the distance. If he was being outclassed, because let's face it, he could also knock Bivol out, obviously. But if he was the one being outclassed in the fight, I could see him continuing to try to push it and either try to get the knockout or be knocked out.
Gentlemen, when was Bivol's last knockout?
I don't know.
Sullivan Barrera. I was in the corner for that fight. Sullivan got knocked out in the very last round. Sullivan's a durable guy, sure, but he ain't no Beterbiev. And he knocked out Trent Broadhurst when he won the title, but that guy was a no-hoper. But ever since then, Isaac Chalembe, Jean Pascal, Joe Smith Jr., Craig Richards, Saul Alvarez, go back to all decisions.
Best. He's going to have to bring his best.
He brought his best against Canelo, and
when he's at
he
his
didn't come close to
best,
stopping him either.
He can stop him.
One thing about
listen, I'm not saying he can't stop him. I don't think he's going to.
Look, Canelo's a different animal than a Beterbiev. Beterbiev, I believe he gets hit more than the Canelo Alvarez, and he gets hit.
Tim. Canelo survived. Canelo would have got stopped if he
didn't
try to
that
survive.
too.
Canelo
But at the same time, but don't you see Beterbiev
punches around and just cover up on the ropes? You're gonna go to distance.
But don't you see Beterbiev now that he's older? You see him kind of transition into this boxer, semi-puncher. You know, he's still a puncher. He hits you with one punch. You know, he can damage you, take you out.
You got to get him on the back foot, though. It's hard to punchers on the back foot. A lot of times don't become punchers. That's sort of the dynamic of the fight. You know, if Beterbiev is able to come forward and keep Beterbiev and keep Bivol on the back foot, I mean, I think his power is dangerous, and eventually, you know, he forces Bivol to feel that heat and he wears him out. But if Bivol, through his busy style, the in-and-out style, staying busy, in-and-out, staying busy against an older, slower-footed Beterbiev, can take the control of the fight, being first consistently, you know, you take away the punching power of Beterbiev in some ways, and you back him up in some ways, and suddenly, you know, Beterbiev is between a rock and a hard place.
But it's
Beterbiev is always a dangerous puncher, so that's what I mean.
But has he been on the back foot? You got to put him on the
back foot too.
Listen, punchers and finishers are different things. And I'm not saying that Bivol can't punch, but he's not a finisher. And when you got a guy as dangerous as Bivol is, who can always change a fight with a single shot, he's going to be even that much more cautious. Is he going to step up? Sure. But he's going to step up in terms of his boxing proficiency and his technique. I don't know, man. I would be difficult for me to see, you know, Bivol stopping. I can see it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to be cautious enough because of the danger that Beterbiev presents.
You can't fight Beterbiev cautiously, though, man. You can't do that because you'll allow him to get on the front foot. I feel like if you fight Beterbiev,
well, then you're getting knocked out.
But you've got to at least take control of the ring. You've got to take control of the fight. If you fight cautiously, look at Vosnik. Look at the guys that fall cautiously. Eventually, he gets to you.
Vosnik was doing very good in that fight.
I know, but he gets to you because you're wasting 3 times as much energy.
Vosnik was boxing very well.
It's dangerous both ways. You saw how he set up Smith off the back foot. He set Smith up off the back foot by moving laterally. He walked him into that right hand after he shot a jab at mid-range. Like, he has that ability to do it. He did the same thing.
Smith is not an in-and-out fighter like that, man. Smith is sort of a one-directional fighter.
I understand what you're coming from, but I'm just saying he has ways of doing it off the back foot too. But I hear you. The style matchup with Bivol and the way he goes in and out and he controls that distance, he knows how to stay at the proper range to not get hit with those big shots and avoid those big shots. So I can tell you one more thing, man. The right hand of Beterbiev is freaking dangerous, man. It's dangerous. And sometimes Bivol, and I've seen him in the past, Bivol has been hit by right hands. He got hit by Joe Smith with the right hand, you know, and it hurt him, and he got hurt. You know, if that punch lands when he's coming forward trying to shoot that jab, and if he just misjudges that distance and that range, he can get caught and get hurt. But at the same time, if he stays to course, if he boxes well off his front foot and back foot and keep that middle distance perfectly timed and landing his combinations, he has a possibility of stopping Beterbiev, man. The defense of Beterbiev is not that great. All he does is resort to the high guard. That's it. The high guard. What else does he have? Nothing else. You know, a subtle level change, and then he steps back to get out of range. But for the most part, he's available because he just sits straight up in front of you.
But he holds position, so he remains dangerous even when you're throwing at him, though. That's part of his defense.
He's inviting. He's inviting.
Position. And so he remains dangerous. Another take I want to take on this fight is the fact that we've been waiting for unification, and because of waiting for unification, you create, as usual, a logjam in the weight class. Josh Buatsi just won over the weekend, an impressive win over Dan Aziz. He's been waiting for as the mandatory for a while. So it'll be nice once these guys actually get it on against each other that Buatsi should and deserves to get a world title fight, because I think that's been long overdue. This guy was a bronze medalist 7 years ago at the Olympics, has been undefeated, has been a pretty impressive guy. I'm not sure he beats either of these guys, but he deserves a world title fight. And this is one of the guys that has been sort of backed up in the logjam because we haven't gotten the unification. Every time we need a unification and we delay it, if you notice, a logjam gets created in the weight class. This has to stop. Something has to be done about it. I'm glad Bivol and Beterbiev are fighting each other, but these other contenders that are deserve their shots at the right time, because sometimes your prime is a quick in and out, and you want guys to get their title shots in their prime, not when they pass it.
Yeah.
Well, bringing up Buatsi, I want to see him and Anthony Yard.
Yeah.
I like Anthony Yard a lot too. He's a very fun fighter. I think he's one of those guys who's just outside those top guys.
You know what?
We
Let's
got a
make it
definitive
co-main
1 and
event.
2.
Tell them,
We
call
got
me
a,
out.
we have a we got a definitive 1 and 2 in the weight class, right?
I
But I,
want
think
to see
there's a
him
big
against,
gap between 2 and 3.
Zerto Ramirez. That's who I want to see.
No,
against.
Zerto's back at
cruiser.
cruiserweight now. Nah, he's at cruiserweight now.
Oh, snap.
He's
But
at
man,
200.
Yard and Buatsi's 2 Brits as well. Make
That's
that
an awesome
make
fight.
that the co-main event. Let's do it.
And winners fight,
fight.
losers fight. Why
Yeah.
not that? Because I want to see those guys fight.
Yeah.
Everybody fight each other.
They both
Good weight
dogs
class.
too. They
Yeah.
both dogs.
Hell
Boy,
yeah.
they dogs.
Yeah.
But I think Buatsi got a better chin. He has a better chin. He has a better
And I
showed
chin.
that
think
against
I
Aziz.
think he's more tighty as well. It's stylistically,
Yeah,
he's a little bit tighter
definitely.
in.
Well, I don't
enjoyed
think
Buatsi.
Yard had an amateur background. He's a guy
No,
who had like
not
very
many
few
fights.
amateur fights.
Yeah, like 14 or something like that.
Yeah,
Unless,
just a super athletic guy learning on the job. I
Yeah.
respect him.
yeah, but Buatsi, I definitely respect his game a lot, man.
He's
And
good. He's
again,
real
a
good.
beard, can fight well in mid-range, can fight inside the pocket, knows how
Hey,
to
Aziz was no joke. That was a good win.
Yeah,
Very good
hell
win.
yeah, it was a good win. And he came to win. He had the little, you see the Marvin Hagler shorts?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is ProBox TV, your boxing channel. Thanks for watching us here on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at ProBox TV. And download the ProBox TV app where apps are available. And for live fights and so much more, visit us at proboxtv.com.